Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Angel Channel, episode 76. What's in your name? Well, everything. We're going to look at numbers, some cool ways to apply numerology, and some ways that you maybe haven't experienced before. And I think there'll be some cool new tricks. Hey, Inga, Spectra, Nat, what's up? Arnie, good to see you, my brother. CJ, welcome back. So the energy, man, has just been absolutely insane. In my own personal sphere, dealing with my son has been beyond crazy intense. But on top of that, we've got like this sick sunspot activity happening, and we're actually kind of lined up again for a big blast sometime this week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. It's not 100% sure, but everything is like set to just explode. So make sure you give yourself a little extra loving care and don't push yourself too hard, man. It's really draining energy and confusing energy, man. That's one of the things I'm really like. I really need to be clear right now, and like there's just this fog that's kind of covering everything. So just be aware, do your grounding. We're going to do a nice little easy, peaceful, happy, gentle, loving grounding tonight. We're going to float a little bit on the energetic sea and just disappear for a little bit. Couple other announcements that are kind of cool. This Saturday, which also happens to be the summer solstice. Happy summer solstice to everybody. Longest day of the year. Really great. Like the four corners during the year are the holidays I really like magically celebrate because they are examples of real, tangible, energetic vibrations. Like the longest day of the year, man, it's that sun thing. It's that maximum blast. So, like, if you've got intentions to blast out, super good day to do that. Super good energy to do that. And then, like, come off the top of the peak and start cruising down to December. My favorite day of the year, the winter solstice, the most creative, inspiring day I know. Um, Next week on the show, I'm super excited. I'm going to have my friend Satya on the show, Rebel Yogi. And he's got an amazing new book called Enlighten the Fuck Up. And it's really great, man. It really approaches the whole energy, like yoga, like his philosophy is really down to earth and something I've attached to in my life as well. So always excited about sharing him. And he always shows up with a good, like, practice thing. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Make sure you guys tune in next week and catch that show. This Saturday on the solstice, I completely blew by this. Leah and I are doing a yoga sound bath thing at CC Studio here in Sebring, and they're kind of celebrating, and it's a really cool thing. So if you're here in Sebring, like make a reservation over there. The studio's awesome. I love like making music and energy flow in there. It's a really, really great place. And this Saturday, it will be for free. There's only like 20 spaces. So if you're interested in going, CC Studio here in Sebring. Love to have you. It's a great vibe. Let me know how you guys have been doing. Have you been feeling hey, Linda, Good to have you, my darling. Have you guys been feeling the weird juice? Like, shoot me some comments on, if you've been feeling it and how it's affecting you. I'd love to get you guys input on that. All right. So this is something else. I would love participation from any of you, like any and all of you. I would love for you to be part of my research project here. I told you not long ago, I ran a video on here with the Blue Man Group. And it was shortly before that when I was sitting on YouTube on that recommendation page, right? And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, nobody's in the room, didn't say it out loud. I was like, wow, man, it's been years since I've seen any kind of recommendation for the Blue Man Group. I wonder if those guys are still making music. I didn't think anything about it. I got up and went and took care of some business. Maybe 20, 30 minutes later, I come back, I fire up the computer, that YouTube channel is still open, and boom, on my recommendations thing, there are 4 Blue Man Group thumbnails. And I went, wow, how did that happen? Like, did I make that happen? Did I send that? Are they reading me? Are they reading my mind? What the hell's going on? So I got really curious and started doing, of course, Mr. Scientist. I started doing some of my own experiments with that and picked other subjects and like music videos I haven't seen in 10, 20 years, all kinds of different things. And every single time it picked it up, and there it was, man. And I started asking some of my friends about it, and they're like, yeah, I kind of noticed that too. A lot of them said it happened around their phone. Like, I don't really like do a lot of surfing and stuff on my phone. My phone's just kind of my phone to me. It's just too small. So this is coming from my desktop computer and a monitor. So I'm getting deeper into this. I happen to be talking to my friend Ernie, who, by the way, our sponsor, Fried Okra Entertainment, friedokra.tv. Thanks for helping keep us afloat. He and I were discussing this very thing, and a couple hours later, he sends me this video of this guy on Instagram, and he's talking about this technology called QDAR, QDR, and that stands for quantum radar. And this is actually a real technology. And it scared the living crap out of me because, like, wow, they just have access to everything. And here's how this works. We were talking the other week or so ago about blank space, and that relating to the zero quantum field where all particles are there and all possibilities are there, and those are waiting to be measured to be then formed into something material. And the quantum particles, quantum field is every single place, and everything is connected. And that's how this whole like interstellar travel, faster than the speed of like instant interstellar travel, and all these different things that are coming to light now. Well, it turns out like for about the last 10 years, they've had this technology. And what happens is they've achieved a way to read the quantum field. And as you're sitting there focusing on something in your mind about that, it creates a little out into the quantum field, which makes perfect sense, man. Thoughts have wings. Your mental energy goes to form your actual energy. And as you're thinking about stuff, you're projecting stuff. And they've gotten this ability to be able to read your intent and the things that you're focusing on. It can pick up on that. So my challenge to all of you guys, man, play with me here, experiment with this. Take something like, uh, you could do this with a product. You could do this with a YouTube video that you haven't seen in a long, long time. YouTube is really the environment I've been kind of like exploring this in, but apparently it's it's everywhere now. So really focus on that and then just blow it off and see if not shortly thereafter there's some ads. If you're thinking about a product, it'll be ads that relate to that specific thing, even though you didn't say anything out loud, you didn't share it, just thought it. So please experiment with this and let's see where this is going. It's kind of trippy to think that has been around for so long, and how fast AI and like all of those things are improving all of those things. Wow, I don't really enjoy the thought of companies being able to read my astral thought, my quantum astral thoughts. But knowledge is power, man. You can't do something to circumvent it if you don't know something's happening. So there you go. So, and on that subject, I'm not here doing a pitch. But there is news that Tesla is releasing a phone and a new iPod, and it will be connected to Starlink and be all outside of that. And it's got like, I did some serious research on it, and it's the real deal, man. And it's got this like military encryption to negate AI being able to infiltrate your device and figure out everything about you. And it sounds super, 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 super cool. So actually, Ernie, my friend Ernie's already on the list for buying them. They sold out already, but they're going to be going into massive production. They're going to fly off the shelves to be able to cut yourself out of that for a little bit. So little tidbits of information. Let's see here. Let me go back a little bit. CJ says, yes, feeling it. Was very scattered brain this past weekend. Yeah, especially. It got really intense. There was a flare on Thursday. Let's see. Arnie says, oh, yes, very off. Sleep broken and light. Yeah, sleep has been kind of a really trippy thing. I don't know if I talked to you about this or not, Arnie, but like if you're intuitive and you're empathic, man, you're at your most open and vulnerable when you sleep. So, we swim in a bath, like all this 5G energy is like super intense and super powerful. And there's radio waves. It's just a sea of electromagnetic frequencies coming at us from all directions. So you can't really escape that. You're in the world, and especially when you're awake and you're walking around, you're in projective mode, you're keeping a lot of that stuff off you anyway. But when you're sleeping and you're in receptive mode, it's like, wow, I'd really like to protect myself from that. So I painted my bedroom walls with electromagnetic blocking paint, and then just painted over the top of that. And I can't really use, like my phone doesn't really work in my bedroom very well, and no computers in my bedroom, that kind of thing. But like I don't really use my bedroom for much of anything except sleeping anyway. So really cool. So I know for at least that period of time where I'm my most open, even with shields and all that stuff, that's when you're at your lowest ebb, that you've got some extra blockage, some walls around the fort. So just passing that on, man. Let's see here. Inga said, yeah, I had perceived a negative encounter that got in through my weakness. Yeah, well, you know what to do about that. We've talked about that. Yeah. Yeah. Spectre says both phone and computer. Linda says, I agree. Cannot use my phone for anything, mostly my iPad. Oh, yeah. That's the size thing, right? Terrible. Yeah. Let's see. I feel they can also read the intent of the folks that are connected to you in some way and show you content based on that related to you. It's highly sophisticated. Well, honestly, like, yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No kidding, Arnie. Wouldn't you like your whole house to be a Faraday cage? Oh, so nice, man. The quiet in there would just be beyond words. Super, super excellent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, Grace, I don't know if you're out there or not, but I'm about to give Grace some real props. You guys all participated last week with me sending my son off to a good place, and that ritual was really intense. Like, it was super, super, super energetic and bright, and it was just brilliant. Um, and I'd love to kind of give you the update on what happened after that. After the show, I I kind of got my grip together, and about midnight, and I went and reconnected. And okay, first of all, I heard about it on Sunday, and I did a pretty decent job of just staying in what needs to happen zone rather than freak out zone. And you know, I practice all these decades for a reason. And I knew that I could reach out and find him and see where he was, and I needed to try to figure out to do whatever I could to help him move to a good place. So when I did find him, he was wandering around in a haze, in a daze, and it was like he was like he'd woken up in a dream and he didn't know where he was, and it was confusing, and the more confusing it got, the more fearful it got, and that's it just gets darker, and it was not a cool space. So that was the intent behind the ritual we did last week, was to all of us just bring him right there in the center in the light, pour all that light in, and blast him off up to the true light. And that felt amazing. And every little ping I have for like telling me whether something succeeded or not after I did it were just like bing, 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 bing. Cool. So about midnight, I found him and connected with him, and I found him in a much better place, and it was up in the light, and it was all cool, and all the fear was gone, and it just felt really magical and wonderful. And I wasn't really having conversation, like. Uh, Specific verbal stuff trading back and forth, but just a connection of love and a connection of like, yeah, man, I know you've got me. And it was a really wonderful time. And I stuck with it until I was just exhausted. About 3 o'clock in the morning, I went to bed. So the next day, I had a reading with Grace Grella, who is a badass, by the way. And I got on the phone with Grace, and man, she just started in like, didn't even say hello. She was just like, Wow, he got on me. He woke me up about 3:30 this morning, and he's just been talking ever since. Blah 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 blah. And she goes into this big. We'd had an argument, and it was just really stupid, and like actually it wasn't stupid. It really needed to happen, but it sucks. And we had not been in as close a contact as we had always been. So the first thing that comes out of her mouth, she starts talking about um, this apology and stuff out of that argument, like specifics out of that argument. And I'm just kind of getting blown away, and like this whole reconnection thing happening, and like all this like goo that had been around, like just letting go. And it was really super amazing. And, there were, she went on for about an hour and a half. It was a really like crazy session. And I sat there and like had this conversation with Adam, like in a really profound and tangible way. And like specifics that I remember that I hadn't thought about myself for many, many, many years. Here, I'll just give you one. Um, when Adam was young, I guess about 3, 4 years old, and he was learning to ride his bicycle, I had just taken the training wheels off for him. And he used to he would get going like 5 or 6 pedals, and then like somebody came and pushed him over. He would just go plunk and fall over, man. I'd go rush up and scrape him off, and like, oh my goodness, like, but to his credit and my love for him about that, like he was just like, get me back on the bike, man. I want to do it. I want to do it. And he finally got it, and I couldn't get him off the thing. So anyway, he's relating to me that was a really profound event in his life, and that it taught him about like persevering and having patience, like how patient I had been with him, and like like all these real specifics. And she described the bike and like the color of the bike and how big it was, and the handlebars with the little handle things, and the little trailer things happening out of that. And it was just a really, really profound and intense experience. And I'm so happy I had that happen. And she was really, and I want to pass this along to all of you guys that helped last week. He was really grateful he acknowledged the ritual that we did, and how that had just taken him out of the dark and like moved him up into space of light. And I just like that worked perfectly. And if it was ever going to, that was a time it really absolutely needed to. So thanks, everybody. Just wanted to share that with you. And, last week I had my favorite Adam story, and I'm going to have to share that this week because I completely forgot to do it. And then we'll get on to some energy stuff. So Adam was a super bright little kid, man. He had those eyes. He was always scanning, just taking in. And his artistic ability manifested very early in his life. And his first medium were SpaghettiOs. And we would put him in the high chair with a bowl of SpaghettiOs, and hardly one would go in his mouth, but they like coated the walls, the entire like high chair tray and the floor and all over him. And he had this blonde curly hair, and he would just big blue eyes, and it would just be all covered all over him, this like goo. So my ex was really trying to break him of that. Like that just drove her absolutely crazy. So he was in the high chair, and something happened, and we needed to step out of the room for a second. And when we came back in the just few minutes that we'd been out of the room, he was absolutely smeared with SpaghettiOs and sitting there with his little spoon and his bowl, and the bowl was like already still over the top of his head, dripping down stuff. Everything was covered. Um, she freaked and like got that face on, man. She had this like eyebrow thing that like made you feel like you were just gonna get ripped in half, and it was frightening to me. I can't even imagine. So, which I was soon about to see too, because she went running over there to him, got in his face, like right up in his face with the wagging finger, and he got this kind of scowl on his face, and he threw his hands up in the air and he goes, "Fuck it," which made me want to just bust out in hysterical laughing. But I've never seen a woman turn around faster than she did. And man, if looks could kill, she would have eviscerated me right there. And I have laughed about the man. He was only like two and a half. So really, really young. And she goes, "I wonder where he got that." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Must have heard it from the babysitter. Anyway, thanks again for all the help with that. And I'll probably mention that again just because it's a really intense part of my, the world kind of changes when, yeah, someone close to you like that goes. I've been pulling out all the tricks, man. Every single tool I know how to use. Like I've been wearing them out. That's for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Arnie, Grace is a beautiful soul, man. She's the real deal. Grace does her song thing, and she likes to keep it light and not too. She keeps it in everyday language and metaphors and stuff that you can really connect to, and her empathy and compassion is just deep beyond words. So anyway, if you guys are looking for a medium reading, I'm really hard on mediums. I have a really, really, really huge picky, man. I am very, very, very picky about those people. Um, I think, just like everything else, there's a lot of people that say they can do it. It just winds up being kind of generalities and things like that. But, when you run across the real deal, like Kelly last week, Kelly's the real deal. It just glows, and their light goes out, and her specific connections for me were just beyond words. So anyway, there we go. Let's see, what time is it? All right. So as usual, you want a reading, put it down in the comments. Be happy to read you up. All right. We're going to make some sacred space and go float on the healing energetic ocean. With the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. going out to all of you. The light of the source, I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. With the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. We joyously come together to join our energy, to connect with the source, the angels, and each other. We ask that the angels be with us here this evening, share their knowledge, their truth, and their love of the source. We ask that we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the wisdom to understand. And with absolute gratitude for all of it, every bit, good, the bad, and the ugly, absolute unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source, we open our circle. Juicy tonight. All right, we're going to go down to zero space. So I want you to draw in with your solar plexus. And when you're drawing in, don't make it air, make it golden healing energy, kind of warm. And I want you to breathe in through your nose and just let that energy just spread all over your body, right? And then when we release that energy, I want you to just be a machine that's getting turned off and connect your breath. As it slowly comes out, we'll be getting down deeper and deeper. And when we get down to silence, just freeze. Don't move, don't think, don't breathe, and just hang there in that stillness. We'll go 5, 6, 7 seconds. And then we'll take another breath. We're going to do 3 of those, okay? All right. Here we go. Inhale. Use your solar plexus in through the nose. Golden healing energy. Really fill it up as much as you can. Really pack it in there. And release. Turning off all the tension in your body. Releases. Relax everything. No mind. Deeper. Silence. All right, inhale. Nice and deep. Let that energy just wash over you. Pack it in and release. sinking deeper into the beautiful silence. No mind, no time, deeper, deeper silence. All right, one more. Make this one count. Really pack it in. When you think you're full, pack some more. All right, here we go. Inhale. Really fill it up. Golden juice. And exhale. No thoughts. No world. Releasing all into the silence. Deeper silence. All right, take a nice breath and just stay in that nice quiet spot. As you come to awareness, you find yourself floating on the surface of the sea, super calm. Just the barest of swells, little undulations on the surface of the energy sea. It's golden, warm, and it holds you up like a protective hand. Safe. And take a nice breath. As you release that breath, your body slowly starts to dissolve into the energy. Your body, your personality. Each breath, you release you into the energy ocean. Your emotions. Until it's just your purest light essence, your light body, the real, genuine you, the eternal, invincible you. And you're just floating in the moment. There's no future. There's no past. There's no world. No thoughts. Just the bliss of the light and the perfection of this moment. You take a nice deep breath, and as you're pulling in your breath, you're pulling in the energy from the sea around you. Gold and warm. Every part of your light body is glowing with a bright golden light. And the energy is just filling you up. Each breath with healing, peace. And you're just this little glowing star on the surface of the energy ocean. Just feel it radiating all around you, healing your body and your spirit. Elevating your frequency. All right, I want you to take a really nice deep breath. Slowly start coming back to your body and the world. Go slow. Coming back. You can feel your legs and hands, fingers. One more. All right, you're back. Just stay there and let that. All right. All right, let's pull some angel cards, see what they have to say. It looks like, let me go back and make sure I have it. All right. All right, CJ. Let's grab you first. All right. Nice and focused. There you go. Beam it to me. Words of wisdom from my friend CJ. Words of wisdom from my friend CJ. Words of wisdom from my friend CJ. All right, here. All right, CJ, we got number 64, the angel of vivification. Yeah, almost there. There we go. You are experiencing information overload. Clear your mind, take a deep breath, and put your thoughts in order. Where there has been mental or physical abuse, you need distance and support. With distance, it is possible to rise above the situation and be objective. Yeah, objectivity, so that you can see the big pattern and determine some meaning behind it and then what to act on. Sometimes you have to be strong and be the one to break out that of a relationship that is no longer healthy, but to which you're both addicted. There are times when it is proper to leave others behind in order to break through relationships patterns that obsess and bind you. When you feel blocked and locked and that nothing can be accomplished, cleanse your energy, center yourself, and wait. Difficult though it may be, it will change. Communicate any new ideas or decisions in such an objective way that they can be received and heard and not refused. Be big picture. That's always a really good idea. We get so caught up, like something happens and you get that emotional response, and like, man, right then you're like filling in all the stuff and you're reacting to this like intense emotion. It's always best to step out of that and look at the bigger picture outside of the moment. All right, Linda, this one's for you, girl. CJ, good for you. Excellent. Not easy, but you know what? The good stuff never is. So take heart. You did the right thing, like in a big way. All right, Lindy, get focused, girlfriend. Words of wisdom for my friend Linda. Words of wisdom for my friend Linda. Words of wisdom for my friend Linda. All right, number 26. Ooh, that's a big number for me. The angel of ambition. There are disagreements among the players on the team. You're feeling frustrated and stifled by the constant clashing. Deal with your frustrations, these feelings of being restricted, constrained, or held back. When you are confronted by differing ideas with no flexibility, it creates confusion over what you are doing. The project loses focus and never gets completed. Yeah, that can be something you're working on too. That, like, yeah, it might not be an immediate clash, but a behind the scenes clash. You need a unified team of balances to be achieved. Look deeply at your own conflicting beliefs first. Make adjustments and seek a unified solution. Look for the win win. Find an idea that encompasses all points of view. Be creative. You will feel the sense of harmony, which will create exciting new possibilities. Allow yourself to revel in the generosity and attention you receive from others. Awaken to your self awareness and release your confined spirit. All right, Nancy, this one's for you. Concentrate. You're all over the place. Take a deep breath, bring it down. Words of wisdom for Nancy. Words of wisdom for Nancy. Words of wisdom for Nancy. Number 19, the angel of expansive intelligence. You are about to be gifted love that is nurturing, creative, clearly focused, inspirational, and equally fulfilling. A beginning to a new romance in which you will experience communication, balance, and deep love. Together, you will reach your goals. The seed has blossomed into a tree of appreciation, two souls equally cherished. Good, solid ideas are passing between two people. Respect will blend your two hearts together. The feeling of being simultaneously very special to one another rather than just equal. Expect a surprise. Yeah. Two whole, complete souls, when united, create a third construct larger than either of them separately. A love affair which will unite your separate qualities and abilities through love to produce something in your lives beyond what either of you could have achieved alone. Love gives meaning to the sexual drive that leads us to it. You will find success once you have connected your spiritual and material world into one. As much as that can be about a person, I would strongly suggest that there's a spiritual component to that that's just waiting for you in a big way. Your higher self and connecting to that part of you and getting to know those areas that have gone unexplored. And when you find that, it's a pretty amazing thing. All right. Emmy, this one's for you. All right, Emmy. I don't think we have done one before. I could be mistaken, but I don't believe so. So, what I need you to do is close your eyes and imagine that you and I are standing face to face and we're looking each other right in the eyeballs. And if you have a specific question, just really focus on that. And if it's just a general question, just focus on what do I need to know right now? Okay. Take a nice deep breath and really get focused. Concentrate. Words of wisdom from my friend Emmy. Words of wisdom from my friend Emmy. Words of wisdom from my friend Emmy. Alrighty. Number 53, the angel of spiritual communication. There we go. You have been under pressure and experienced many changes in your lifetime. You've taken on too many responsibilities, and your creativity has taken a bit of a hit. You feel oppressed physically and mentally. Genuine change will seem impossible when your load of activities is too great, especially right now with this freaking sun and like all of this draining and confusing energy around. Stop being the savior of everyone else. Stop taking other people's projects and giving back the ones you can. Scrape the built up ice off your windshield and take a good look at the world. Sometimes you take on other people's loads in order to avoid dealing with your own. Don't we all? People pleasing is a rope that binds you. Do you want to be free to travel, to seek adventure and new involvements, yet find yourself caught in the endless cycle of responsibilities, family, financial, and work? You take on all the total weight of your relationships, leaving nothing left for you. Yeah, that's a real trap. Yeah, you've done that for a long time too. It's not your job to always smooth over whatever problems, conflicts, or issues arrive. Stop struggling to keep a relationship going while the other person is not even aware of what's happening. Yeah, kind of a theme. Like they wind up doing these things, man. Yeah. All right, Inga, here we go, girl. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Alrighty, number four, the angel of divine power. Yeah, that's a good one for you. Listen to the voice calling for a new path. Acknowledge when your talents, abilities, and work are being wasted. An answer is on the way, but there is still much to be accomplished. An equilibrium must be established. You are focused on your inner pain, blinding you to the outer opportunities. You turn away from the power that is always there for you to use. Shh. You can't hear the quiet voice if your inner voices scream really loud. Shh. You are too giving and allow others to manipulate and take advantage of your giving nature, and this allows others to use and take advantage of you. Double check everything before moving ahead. Careless methods can ruin your crop. You may experience the failure of some project due to storms or problems that are greater than you had anticipated. A trauma and resulting memories have caused you to disconnect. New new opportunities are here, but you must be present and in the now in order to recognize them and take the proper action to assure success. You must be alert to the new opportunities that are presenting themselves now and use them wisely. Remain open and receptive to new business ventures and partnerships with reputable people. Commit to operating from a place of light and integrity as you march forward. Ah, Emmy, glad to hear it. Emmy said that was spot on. Yeah, Nancy, think about that, man. It's not always like the surface thing, and they definitely talk that way to you, and it definitely is a spiritual path. So, and Inga said, "Wow, awesome." All right, you guys. Looks like we've reached the end of it. I didn't even get to the numerology tonight. I just wind up stacking too much stuff in there. So just want to remind you, man, go check that ODR or QDR, quantum radar thing, and try it with some of the social media stuff. I know for a fact it works with the YouTube thing. I would love to see what your research help me in my research project here, please. And look into that Tesla phone and the iPad. Super cool. As always, hit the like, subscribe. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed the show. Always helps us. And next week, my good friend Satya will be here, and we'll have a really good time. Please come and avail yourself of his light and knowledge. And he's a funny MFer, man. So I'll enjoy sharing space with him next week. All right. I think that's everybody. I think that's all my notes. All right. So thanks as always for sharing space and energy and time and being in the light for an hour a week. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you, for real. All right. Until next week, then. We're going to close it down and say goodnight. We joyously come to the end of our gathering and send everyone on their happy way. We thank the angels for their knowledge, for their truth, and their understanding. With absolute gratitude for all of it, infinite unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. Until next week.